When we think about toxic relationships, our minds often jump to extreme images. Constant fights, betrayal, shouting, or even abuse. But most toxic relationships aren't like that. The most dangerous ones are quiet. They're subtle. They creep into your life slowly, like water wearing down a stone. You might start noticing small things. A sarcastic comment here, a dismissive glance there, or a feeling that you can't quite put into words. First, you ignore it. It's nothing. I'm just overreacting. But over months or even years, these small things accumulate. And one day you wake up and realize you don't recognize yourself anymore. Today, I want to share 3 subtle signs of a toxic relationship that almost no one talks about. These are not the typical big red flags. These are quiet, almost invisible signals that something is wrong, but they matter just as much. By the end of this video, you'll have a checklist you can use to see if your own relationship is safe, nurturing, or quietly toxic. Sign 1. Your feelings are dismissed. Picture this: you tell your partner, "It hurt me when you made that joke about me." And they respond, "Oh, come on, you're too sensitive. Stop overreacting." First, it seems small. Maybe you brush it off. But over time, these little dismissals start to shape your reality. You begin to think your emotions are wrong or unimportant. You stop sharing your feelings. You start hiding them even from yourself. This is one of the quietest and most dangerous forms of toxicity. Takes away the most basic thing in a relationship: your right to your own emotions. And when that happens, you start losing touch with who you are. Sign 2. You doubt yourself after conversations. You go into a conversation feeling confident. You know your point makes sense. You know your perspective is valid. But by the time the conversation ends, you feel guilty. You start thinking, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. This is called gaslighting. It's subtle manipulation that makes you question your own mind, your own memory, and even your perception of reality. Imagine living in a world where you can't trust yourself, where every thought and feeling must be checked against another person's approval. That's exactly what this does. It creates dependency and erodes your sense of self. Sign 3. You stop sharing joy. Think about something that makes you happy. A promotion at work, a creative idea, a new hobby, or a personal achievement. But instead of sharing it with your partner, you stop yourself. They'll just dismiss it. They'll make a joke. They won't care. And slowly, you begin to hide the best parts of yourself. Your excitement, your achievements, even your passions. A healthy relationship multiplies joy. Celebrates wins, big or small. A toxic one takes joy away, slowly and quietly, until you feel like you're shrinking. Now let's dive deeper. Understanding toxicity isn't just about spotting obvious signs. It's about seeing patterns in everyday life. Many toxic behaviors are subtle, almost invisible at first, but they shape your inner world over time. Dismissed emotions. More than just words. When your feelings are dismissed, it doesn't just hurt in the moment. Over time, it changes how you view yourself. You start to believe that your emotions are inconvenient or wrong. You might think, if I feel this way, I'm overreacting or being dramatic. For example, you tell your partner you're stressed about work, and they respond, "Oh, stop worrying. It's not a big deal." Or you share that you're hurt by something they said, and they reply, "You're too sensitive. I didn't mean anything." The message is clear. Your inner experience doesn't matter. Over months, this creates a habit of silencing yourself. You stop sharing your joys, your fears, your disappointments. And when you stop sharing, the connection erodes. You feel more and more alone. Even when you're physically together. Gaslighting. Questioning your reality. Another subtle sign is when you begin to doubt your own memory, your perception, or your judgment. This is classic gaslighting, and it often appears in very small ways. Your partner denies saying something hurtful, even though you clearly remember it. They insist that you misunderstood a situation, or exaggerate your reaction. They might even accuse you of being confused or imagining things. The dangerous thing about gaslighting is that it shifts the focus from their behavior to your mind. You start thinking, maybe I really am too sensitive. Maybe I really did get it wrong. Let's imagine a real-life scenario. You planned a weekend getaway, and your partner criticized every little detail. Your choice of hotel, your packing, your itinerary. You feel frustrated, so you speak up. They reply, "You're overreacting. You always make a big deal out of nothing." By the end, you start questioning yourself. Maybe you are overreacting. Maybe you shouldn't have said anything. And slowly, your confidence erodes, leaving them in control. Joy suppression. Hiding the best parts of yourself. A third, often overlooked, sign is the slow disappearance of joy. In toxic relationships, small things like your achievements, passions, or personal interests get minimized, mocked, or ignored. Example, you start painting again and your partner says, "Why bother? You're not that good." You get a work promotion and they reply, "It's just luck, anyone could do it." When this happens repeatedly, you start hiding the things that make you happy. You stop talking about your hobbies, your ambitions, even the things that give your life meaning. You feel your identity shrinking. Your life becomes quieter, smaller, less colorful. Why this happens? These behaviors often come from control, insecurity, or unresolved trauma in the toxic partner. But regardless of why they act this way, the effect on you is the same. You lose touch with your own worth. Other everyday signs to watch for. You feel constantly on edge, like walking on eggshells. Small disagreements escalate into guilt tripping or silent treatment. You feel drained after spending time with them, not refreshed. Deep reflection. Notice a pattern. Most toxic behaviors aren't violent or loud. They are quiet, slow, and repetitive. They chip away at your self-esteem, your confidence, and your ability to trust yourself. And the most insidious part, you might even convince yourself that it's normal or that you deserve it. Remember, healthy relationships amplify your life. They make your joys bigger, your laughter louder, your dreams bolder. Toxic relationships do the opposite. They slowly shrink you until you don't recognize yourself anymore. Here's a practical tool, a quiet signals checklist. Think of it as a radar for subtle toxicity. Level 1, your body. Can you truly relax around your partner? Do you feel tension in your shoulders, a lump in your throat, or a knot in your stomach before seeing them or having a serious conversation? Do you notice feeling calmer or more peaceful when they're not around? Level 2, your emotions. Does your joy fade quickly when you're with them? Do you often feel guilty for no reason? Do you feel unseen, unheard, or unimportant most of the time? Level 3, your behavior. Are you sharing less about your thoughts, achievements, or feelings? Are there topics you avoid just to keep the peace? Do you bend your choices to match theirs, even when they never asked you to? Even if you recognize just 2 to 3 signs from each level, it's a warning. Healthy relationships create space for growth. Toxic ones shrink your life, your energy, and your self-confidence. Here's what I want you to remember. A healthy relationship makes you bigger. It makes you laugh louder, dream bolder, and believe in yourself more. A toxic relationship does the opposite. It drains your energy, erodes your confidence, and makes you question who you are. And the scary part, toxicity often starts so quietly that you convince yourself it doesn't matter. But those small things build the environment where you live. An environment where you either flourish or slowly fade away. If you recognized several of these signs in your own relationship, it's not about blame, it's about awareness. Awareness gives you the power to make a choice, to grow in this relationship, seek change, or step away. So, how many points from the checklist did you recognize? Write them down. Think about it honestly. Your relationship should make you feel alive, supported, and celebrated. If it doesn't, it's time to pay attention. Because your life, your joy, your energy, your dreams matter more than anyone else's approval. Take care of yourself. Protect your joy. And remember, your relationship is the soil where you either bloom or fade away.